Hi guys, Tony Palladino here. I've been sent in a few questions to answer for the Cricket Derbyshire Foundation, so yeah, here goes. Question number one is, who's the best player you've played with and against? So this is the best player I've played with. For me, is someone who I've played with for many years. Might not be the most famous or sort of, hasn't played international cricket or anything like that, but for me, just he's been so consistent. He's such a good player. He's a living Derbyshire legend, and that's Wayne Madsen. Just seeing some of the innings he's played over the years against high quality attacks. Very unlucky not to have got some sort of recognition internationally. But yeah, I've got a real quality player, quality guy. And yeah, like I said, living Derbyshire legend, Wayne Madsen, best player I've played with, definitely. The best player I've played against, not necessarily maybe the best player, but the guy I found most difficult, so I'd say most difficult opponent, Marcus Trescothick. Played against him quite a bit, sort of near when I was finishing up at Essex, and just used to put me to the sword every time I bowled to him. My stock ball, which was swinging into him, seemed to be exactly what he wanted, and he just used to lean on me through cover or through mid-wicket. And yeah, I remember him scoring a double century against Essex at Colchester in a game that I played, and I don't think anyone else got more than maybe 50. It was a terrible pitch, and he made it look pretty easy. So, and in a few one-day games, also he smacked me around the park. So yeah, Marcus Trescothick, definitely most difficult opponent, and someone I found very hard to bowl and gave me nightmares building up to games playing against him. So yeah, those would be those two. Second question is, best player you've dismissed. I'm going to give a top three here because I just feel like it really. Yeah. Number three would be Kane Williamson. Played against him a few times when he was overseas player for Gloucester, and managed to get him out. Maybe wasn't quite as good as he is now, but he was still, could tell he was a very, very good player. So I'll stick Kane at three. Number two, England legend, top run scorer, Alistair Cook. Got him out in my first year at Derbyshire. Bowled him plenty of times in the nets, but in a match it's always a little bit sweeter. And yeah, so played against him. Got him out in a game at Derby. Number one, probably quite comfortably as well, Kumar Sangakkara. Managed to get him out at the Oval when he was playing for Surrey. Definitely my biggest scalp, one I was very proud of. Little one that just moved away from him and nicked it through to Harvey, who nearly didn't carry either because I'm not very quick. So, but yeah, nicked it through at Harv, and Harv did the rest. And yeah, Kumar Sangakkara, number one. Favourite moment for Derbyshire, very easy. Winning Division 2 in 2012. Nothing even comes close, to be honest. Went into that season very much as not even thought about even challenging for a title. We managed to win, beat the mighty Yorkshire to first place. Yeah, and got promoted. So yeah, definitely comfortably best feeling of my not just Derbyshire career, but the whole career. And being on the balcony with all the supporters, down below and lifting the trophy up was something I'll always remember. Favourite football club, Chelsea. I'm a Chelsea supporter. As my dad, so not just an Abramovich glory hunter. I've been a Chelsea supporter through thick and thin for many years when they were a very poor side. Remember one of the first videos I ever got was Chelsea winning Division 2 back in the day. So it was, yeah, I think that was 88-89 season. Someone might be able to correct me on that. But yeah, watching that. My dad, where I grew up in London, is probably Leyton Orient or West Ham area would be the local sides, but my dad was always a Chelsea supporter. He liked the Chelsea side of the 60s and 70s, so supported them, and yeah, I followed in his footsteps. So yeah, got a lot of stick growing up at school because mainly where I went to school was Arsenal fans, and they were much better than us back then. But it's been a little bit easier the last sort of 10 or 15 years supporting Chelsea. So yeah, Chelsea boy. Favourite way to get someone out. to be honest, any wicket I'll take, because it's bowling's hard enough if you're sort of worrying too much about how to get someone out. But it is very nice that when a plan comes together, or you try something and you're working towards something. So say I'm bowling at a guy and I bowl outside off stump, really trying to set him up, and then I'll bowl maybe one that I try to get one to nip back and it bowls him leaving, or LBW, something like a big setup, 3-card trick. They're always nice. When you try something, you maybe jump wider of the crease to change the angle, and you bowl someone or you get them to nick it. Those sort of things are always really nice, because you've actually tried something and you go, hey, like, I came wider of the crease, and sort of give it Billy Big Nuts a little bit, and all that. So yeah, those would be the ways I sort of really enjoy getting someone out, when you kind of set them up and you work to a plan and it comes off. So yeah, it doesn't happen all the time. Well, it doesn't happen very often, but when it does, that is very sweet. Favourite food? Obviously the name gives away a bit of Italian heritage, so pasta and anything Italian really, I absolutely love. One small advantage that's come out of lockdown and this is that I've been able to cook all my favourite meals and things like that. I've been able to do a lot of experiment in the kitchen and try a few different pasta recipes, homemade pizzas, things like that, and yeah, that's been great. But yeah, definitely, I'm definitely an Italian man, pasta man. Favourite food, comfortably. Worst dressed squad member. It's harsh on him, because he does work hard on his clothing, and I think he spends a lot of time on it and probably spends a lot of money on it. But Harvey Hossain, just for some of the outfits I've seen on Instagram, has to go to the top of the list, just because purely on, I've seen a pair of rascal boots that he wears on Instagram. I've seen him in a nightclub on an Instagram post with like a red bandana or something on his arm, and I was just looking at it thinking, you know, he probably might see some pictures of me back in the day and think, what am I wearing? But yeah, definitely, generally he's okay, I think, but yeah, definitely just for the pure rascalness of some of his gears that I've seen, especially on Instagram, I think he has to be up there, and I'm sure he'll respect that half. Favourite Derbyshire club ground? Yeah, played at a few. Purely for the fact that it always seems to do a bit, and it always has decent carry. Sandy Acre, quite like bowling at Sandy Acre. Normally leave a little tinge on there, and it normally has quite decent carry. So yeah, quite enjoy playing there. Got a few wickets there, and I think we won a cup final there a few years ago, which was quite nice. So yeah, I think Sandy Acre would be my choice there. Messiest player in the changing room. Alex Hughes and Matt Critchley, and luckily enough they sit next to each other, so just all their rubbish and kit and everything that just looks like, you know, someone's just run a bulldozer through it. It's just all over the place, but luckily it's quite condensed because they both sit next to each other in the corner. If they didn't, I think there'd be a few more problems, but yeah, Critch and Yoz, definitely the messiest in the change room. The main difference between club and first class pitches, the pace and bounce in first class pitches is a lot more pace, a lot more bounce, and a lot more consistent than club wickets. Club decks generally a bit softer. They definitely wouldn't last as long. You know, a 4-day match has to last, you know, that amount of time. So yeah, I think it's quite hard to sort of put a main difference. But yeah, if I had to say a main difference, it would be the pace and the bounce. There's a lot more pace and bounce in first class pitches than club pitches. Don't know what that's down to. Well, you know, the soil or whatever. I don't know anything about, you know, being a groundsman or anything like that. So yeah, pace and bounce, and just maybe staying together and not breaking up as much or breaking up as quickly. I've played club games where, you know, halfway through the first innings the pitch is already breaking up, and if that was a first class pitch, then, you know, it's not going to last a day or two, rather, you know, let alone 4 days. So yeah, definitely those would be the sort of main differences I've found. Favourite part of being a professional cricketer? just being able to do, the, you know, play a game and a sport for a living. And that's, you know, waking up every day and knowing that I'm in a very privileged position, that you know, I'm doing a job that I love, and I've been able to do it for many years. Yeah, so but basically, you know, growing up, always wanted to be a professional cricketer, and I've managed to do that. However much longer it is for, we'll see. But that would be the sort of favourite part of being that, you know, waking up, going to a ground, wherever, going to training, and just being able to play cricket. It is the dream. It is the dream scenario for me. And name a player you've always looked up to. Two heroes growing up were Ian Botham and Dominic Cork. Botham was first. I had a lot of videos watching him growing up. Used to love the way he bowled and be the hero, and you know, he was almost like a comic book character. Some of the things he used to do. And then as I got older and started to sort of get into realise and the sort of technical aspects of cricket, I realised that I was sort of a similar bowler to Dominic Cork. I was a swing bowler, and watching him break into the Test side, I would say sort of the latter part of my sort of cricketing education would have been watching Corky play. I've been very lucky to meet both my heroes and actually do some work with Corky, which has been great. So yeah, I would say those two were the ones I looked up to most. My dad, although wasn't a first-class cricketer, played a good standard of club cricket, and I think I always looked up to him and just the way he pushed me when I was younger, and really made me work hard on my game, and just sort of like, him and my mum both took me to all the trials I needed to go to, all the club games, so they made a lot of sacrifices. So I'll have to give them a bit of a shout out, you know, for everything they did for me in terms of that growing up. So yeah, I hope that's been alright, guys. I hope you've learned a little bit about me, about the dressing room, about first class cricket, and yeah, catch you all soon. Stay safe, and yeah, hopefully we'll have some live cricket to watch and play soon.